Get ready for the biggest stories hitting the screen right now. Hollywood studios are pulling back from the Cannes Film Festival as festival anxiety grows. We dive into the shift happening in the industry and what it means for blockbuster filmmaking.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This ALEN 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the intense political climate surrounding the festival. Cannes juror Paul Laverty slams Hollywood for blacklisting actors like Susan Sarandon and Javier Bardem over their views opposing the murder of women and children in Gaza. We also examine the complex dialogue happening on the red carpet. Demi Moore and Park Chan-wook kick off the festival, with Moore defending the role of politics in art and Park defending the integration of political statements in filmmaking. And finally, we hear Paul Laverty's stark warning about the future. He questions the industry's embrace of AI and calls on tech billionaires to be more transparent about the algorithms that shape our lives. Stay with us for the full breakdown. Hollywood studios are significantly pulling back from the Cannes Film Festival, signaling a fundamental shift in how the U.S. entertainment industry engages with European film showcases. The 2026 festival opened without a single major Hollywood blockbuster on its program, a stark departure from previous years, where Cannes served as a primary launchpad for big-budget American productions like Top Gun, Maverick, and Indiana Jones. Major studios, including Universal, Disney, Warner, Sony, and Paramount, alongside streaming giants Netflix and Amazon, have opted out of participating this year. Cannes director Thierry Frémaux attributed this absence to scheduling misalignment and broader industry changes, noting that studios are now producing fewer blockbusters and auteur films. Industry analysts point to a series of high-profile festival disappointments as a major catalyst. The 2024 Venice premiere of Joker, Folie à Deux, despite its high budget, highlighted the risk associated with pre-release critical reception. Furthermore, film critics suggest studios are increasingly reluctant to expose major productions to the world's press corps months in advance, fearing negative reviews could derail their launch. This cautious approach is amplified by the rapid virality of negative reviews on social media, which has changed the dynamics of film promotion. Instead of relying on festival validation, studios are adopting more controlled launch strategies. For instance, Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme bypassed major festivals for a controlled New York Film Festival launch paired with a strong social media campaign. Scott Roxborough of The Hollywood Reporter stated that studios have concluded that a major release no longer necessitates festival validation to succeed, citing films like Sinners that skipped the festival circuit entirely. The focus has shifted from festival prestige to direct market success and influencer-driven marketing. Consequently, the focus of Cannes 2026 is reverting to its core identity: international auteur-driven cinema. The main competition features established figures like Pedro Almodovar, Asghar Farhadi, Hirokazu Koreeda, and Ryusuke Hamaguchi, with only 2 American films in the main competition, both financed largely outside the U.S. While some caution against viewing this as a permanent rupture, Eric Marty suggests that if scheduling aligns, the promotional machine remains effective. Ultimately, the retreat of Hollywood has fundamentally altered the calculation studios make before committing to a festival premiere, forcing Cannes to absorb the consequences of this evolving landscape. Noi Dung Kai Tight. Cannes jury member Paul Laverty sharply criticized Hollywood for allegedly blacklisting actors who have voiced opposition to the conflict in Gaza, specifically naming Oscar winner Susan Sarandon. Laverty made his remarks at the festival's jury press conference, highlighting the perceived hypocrisy of Hollywood's actions. And Laverty stated, "Can I just leave one tiny thing? The Cannes Film Festival has a wonderful poster." Yes, and isn't it fascinating to see some of them like Susan Sarandon, Javier Bardem, Mark Ruffalo blacklisted because of their views in opposing the murder of women and children in Gaza? Shame on Hollywood people who do that. My respect and total solidarity to them. They're the best of us, I look up to them. He concluded with a sardonic remark. I just hope we don't get bombed now, because we've got this poster in Cannes. /n Sarandon's experience aligns with Laverty's comments. Earlier this year, Sarandon revealed that she was fired by her agency specifically for speaking out about Gaza and advocating for a ceasefire. She explained that the pressure became so intense that it made it impossible for her to secure major television roles or work within the Hollywood system, leading her to seek opportunities in England and Italy, focusing instead on independent and smaller films. /n Laverty framed his selection to the Cannes jury as a counterpoint to the current global climate of violence. Referencing Shakespeare, he commented on the socio-political environment, noting the pervasive violence and genocide in Gaza. He expressed that attending a festival celebrating diversity and inspiration felt jarring amidst such vulgar, vicious, systematic violence, which left him overwhelmed. Cannes jury member Paul Laverty issued a sharp condemnation of Hollywood, accusing the industry of blacklisting actors like Susan Sarandon, Javier Bardem, and Mark Ruffalo due to their pro-Gaza stances. Speaking at a recent jury presser, Laverty stated, "Shame on Hollywood people who do that, and then so my respect and total solidarity to them. They're the best of us and good luck to them." Laverty highlighted the irony of these high-profile figures being sidelined because of their views opposing the violence in Gaza. This sentiment echoes earlier reports, including an open letter from over 350 film figures last year condemning the silence surrounding the conflict. Susan Sarandon has previously shared her experience, revealing that she was reportedly fired by her agency for speaking out about Gaza and calling for a ceasefire, which subsequently made it impossible for her to secure major film roles in Hollywood. Addressing the festival's role in a volatile world, Laverty described Cannes as an oasis of peace, emphasizing that the festival's celebration of diversity, imagination, and tenderness is crucial amidst current global violence and genocide in Gaza. Other members of the Cannes jury included Demi Moore, Stellan Skarsgård, Ruth Negga, Chloe Zhao, Laura Wandel, Diego Cespedes, and Isach de Bankel. Laverty also offered praise for the Cannes poster for Thelma and Louise, despite criticism from some groups regarding gender representation at the festival. Noi Dung Kai Tait. Hollywood star Demi Moore and Korean auteur Park Chan-wook launched the 79th edition of the Cannes Film Festival with significant statements emphasizing the vital role of politics in cinema. Addressing concerns about self-censorship, Moore asserted that limiting expression would stifle creativity, stating, "I think part of art is about expression, so if we start censoring ourselves, then we shut down the very core of our creativity, which is, I think, where we can discover truth and answers." Park Chan-wook, who is chairing the jury for this year, strongly defended the intersection of politics and art. He argued that politics and art should not be seen as conflicting forces, asserting that a work with a political statement should not be deemed an enemy of art, and conversely, a film without a political statement should not be ignored. However, Park cautioned that the most potent political statements risk descending into propaganda if they are not executed with artistic finesse. He expressed a desire to view films with an open, unprejudiced eye, seeking genuine surprise. /n these high-profile remarks followed a period of intense scrutiny on political filmmaking, stemming from the previous year's Berlin International Film Festival, where comments by jury president Wim Wenders had sparked controversy regarding filmmakers' involvement in politics. This fallout included an open letter from over 80 industry figures criticizing the Berlinale's handling of issues like the war in Gaza. The 9-member Cannes jury is notably diverse, featuring Park alongside Moore, Chloe Zhao, Stellan Skarsgård, Isach de Bankel, Ruth Negga, Laura Wandel, Diego Cespedes, and Paul Laverty. Later in the press conference, Moore addressed the rise of artificial intelligence in filmmaking, suggesting that rather than fighting the technology, the focus should be on finding ways to collaborate with it. She maintained that true art stems from the soul and human spirit, elements AI cannot replicate. And in contrast, screenwriter Paul Laverty offered a sharp critique of the industry's embrace of AI and the influence of tech billionaires. Laverty argued that the industry must be skeptical of the entities controlling popular AI algorithms, warning that these decisions affect society deeply, and that the assumption that the public will passively accept these changes is dangerous. He stressed the need for transparency and democratic control over these technologies, particularly concerning their impact on workers and societal crises. And Laverty also reflected on the value of cultural events like Cannes amidst global conflict, noting that the spectacle of violence can be overwhelming, yet expressing anticipation for the artistic diversity the festival represents. The jury will award the Palme d'Or on Saturday, May 23rd, as the 79th edition kicks off with the premiere of Pierre Salvadori's La Venus Electrique.